you can see why it would be to Sonny's advantage to offer up John Zaccar to a federal prosecutor.
A mob war, which would be a disaster for everyone, especially Michael.
Sonny's using the feds to get rid of a potential threat. He's using you, Claire.
I'm sure he thinks that. But, Detective, make no mistake, I came to Port Charles to take down Sonny Corinthos, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Hey, so good to see you. How are you?
Good. Are you sure it's okay for me to just show up?
Absolutely. I told you can come by anytime you want.
Thanks. How's Spencer? I was wondering if maybe we could go for a ride.
Yeah, of course. He can show you what he can do with Nippet. Spencer's very proud of himself.
I love that pony. I love everything a lot more than I used to. Like, this morning I sat out on the deck with my orange juice, and my biggest problem was what to have for breakfast. And then I started thinking about Michael and what he was doing and having for breakfast. It's so unfair for him to be locked up in that awful place.
I know. Well, I'm sorry I can't help you with Michael right now, but I have made some progress with the Bowers. Warren hasn't dropped the wrongful death suit yet, but I imagine he will soon.
Why?
I made him aware of various options. We'll just leave it at that.
That sounds like a threat.
I told you, Christine, I won't allow anyone to drag you through that Kiefer nightmare anymore.
Kiefer was a nightmare mostly, but I missed him sometimes. That probably sounds ridiculous.
No. I think we all feel things we shouldn't sometimes. Just ask me and Elizabeth.
How's she doing?
She works too much, and I'm worried about her. I invited her and the boys to come live here at least until the baby's born, but she won't even consider it. I'm not arguing with you. It's just that I've seen Sonny operate for a long time, and he knows you're vulnerable because Michael ended up in Pentonville, and that makes you look bad.
It makes everyone look bad.
Sonny's offering you a shot at redemption. You'll supposedly be helping Michael and conveniently neutralize his competition.
Well, I want to stop a mob war before it starts.
Yeah, well, that's what we all want. But how? I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Okay, assuming that you can't get both of them, who would you rather bust, Sonny or Johnny?
Who says we can't get both? Sonny has to be well aware that I'd be able to double-cross him.
Yeah, and then he said he had no choice but to trust you and looked you straight in the eye, right?
He is very compelling, yes. If I were a juror, I might be swayed. But I know his act. I'm not impressed by him.
I've only known 2 women who can hold their own against Sonny, okay? One is my cousin Carly, and it cost her 4, count them, 4 marriages to the guy, along with years of pain and at least 1 major nervous breakdown. And the only other woman who seems completely immune to Sonny is Diane Miller.
Diane Miller, whom I have a lot of respect for, and she has to know deep down, the way I do, what a dangerous criminal he is.
Look, the thing that you have to understand about Sonny is that he's not 100% bad. He can be generous and kind. He does a lot of great things in this community with no fanfare at all. He genuinely loves his children, and he tries his best to be a good father. And he really did have a childhood that would break anyone's heart. That's how he draws women in. They think they can save him.
I don't want to save Sonny Corinthos. I want to put him away, 20 to life.
All right, well, just know that you'll be wading through emotional quicksand. And it's taken down many women before you.
You know, perhaps none of these women saw what I saw during the trial. A brutal killer who got his son mixed up in a cover-up. Someone who believed that he could game the system, who had no intention of going to jail. I mean, I really believe that he thinks that a jet would have been waiting for him to fly off to South America even if he was found guilty. Not to mention the impossible position he put Michael in, or Dante, who he shot point blank in the chest. Sonny is a brutal, narcissistic thug who needs to be shut down. He really does, and if he really believes that he's playing me, let him. It's going to make my job a lot easier.
Attention General Hospital shoppers. There will be a sale of designer jewelry in room 314. Don't miss out. These are one-of-a-kind pieces and they're bound to be collector's items since the designer is on her way to that big swap meet in the sky. So,
Nurse Weber, will you please take this patient back to her room?
Certainly.
Well, this, until very recently, would be where I apologize, where I swear it will never happen again. But I'm not sorry, not one little bit. And if I see an opportunity to sell my jewelry or to do the Roomba, I'll do it.
You'll do it at your own risk.
Trust me on this, you do not want to be on Epiphany's bad side.
Fair enough. But I've let too many opportunities slip by, and I will never again just sit around and let my life happen.
You seem to know a lot about Sonny's personal life.
He and my father are good friends. I've known him since I was pretty young.
This is not going to turn out to be one of those mysterious conflicts of interest, is it?
No. No, I don't have a problem building a case against Sonny as long as it's by the book.
It will be, I assure you.
Just be careful, Claire, because Sonny and Johnny are both unstable, but they're good at what they do. I mean, Sonny has more power and the advantage of years of experience, but Johnny seems to have unexpected resources, and the guy's got nothing to lose.
Thanks. I'm going to keep it in mind. I have a lot of calls to answer, but maybe we can continue our discussion over drinks sometime.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah, in the park, by the swings, you know, with the kids running around. Sorry. Okay, I'm leaving.
Okay.
Lucky, please send your secretary back to work. I need your full attention.
What do you want? I'm working.
Why on earth won't you allow Elizabeth to move to Windermere?
Promise me you will stay in bed and that you'll stay away from Epiphany and at least don't touch the PA system.
I'm not making any promises.
Well, then will you at least stay in bed until after my ultrasound?
Is that today?
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the last one. And if I'm late for this one, Nikolas will lock me up in the Tower of Windermere and I'll never be heard from again.
That sounds so romantic.
Oh, yeah, not really. It's more about control. He's been determined to run my life ever since he found out this baby was his. He wants me to quit my job, pack up my kids, and move out to Windermere.
That castle in the harbor?
Yeah.
Have you ever been inside?
Of course.
Is it gorgeous?
If you like horror movies.
I'd love to see it.
No, you're not missing much.
I'm afraid you are. If your baby's father is ridiculously wealthy and wants you and your children to live with him in a castle and have legions of servants waiting on you, don't you think you ought to at least give it a little thought?